welcome to my channel. I'm Jess. Today I'm going to be talking about designer t-shirts and just the value of t-shirts in general. So if you're into, listening to fashion videos or even handbag videos, please subscribe to my channel. I would super appreciate it. So I just want to say that designer t-shirts, in terms of the materials and the way they're constructed and everything, is 100% not worth the value that they're priced at. Now, with the pricing of designer t-shirts or any t-shirt in that really is the perceived value. So things like for example, Supreme, the skater brand. I remember when I was younger, Supreme was 100% not expensive at all. They used to have Supreme at the surf shop, and a Supreme t-shirt is just like, any surf brand t-shirt. Not like the cheapest brand, but like not what it is now. So now, I remember a few years ago, my friend bought this really cool like lime green Supreme hoodie that said just Supreme there, and I'm like, wow, that's really cute. And I was like, maybe I could buy one too, and I was expecting it to be like, what, max $100. Turns out those hoodies were at the time going for like $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 because that little red Supreme thing is like iconic, and I was like gobsmacked and I just didn't understand how it could be worth that much, and it was 100% the perceived value of something, so it's nothing to do with the t-shirt itself. Now, there are better quality t-shirts out there in terms of materials. You can get organic cotton, you can get maybe things that are thicker, or like even the quality of the print, or like embellishment on the t-shirt can add to the cost. But sometimes just a simple placement print on a t-shirt actually is worth more because of what people will basically pay for it. So that's where I come into designer t-shirts. And, a lot of designer t-shirts are made, in countries like, Italy or France, especially like Gucci or Saint Laurent, Balmain. They'll all make their t-shirts in Italy. And there was a time a few years ago where I super wanted one of those Balmain t-shirts with the gold foil print and the buttons. I thought it was really cute. And my boyfriend, I think he talked me out of getting one, because I think I did find one on sale somewhere, and I'm kind of happy I didn't buy one because I don't think Balmain is necessarily my style, but I did end up purchasing over the years quite a few designer t-shirts. So I'll show you guys what my collection is and whether I think it's really worth it. So I have quite a number of Saint Laurent t-shirts. These I tried to purchase on sale, as Saint Laurent does go on sale, but do I think they're worth it? Now, I think they do look really cool. I do like I think Saint Laurent as a brand kind of goes more with my style as opposed to maybe Gucci or Balmain. So this kind of t-shirt, I think it works for me because it's the right vibe for my style. Whereas if I invested in like a Gucci or Balmain, it's not necessarily my style now, even though they were kind of cooler a few years ago. So I think Saint Laurent as a brand is a little bit more understated, so that's why I still wear like stuff like this. I just really like the colors on this one. This is more of like a neon theme. This one went on sale, and then this is like the classic Rive Gauche one, and this is more of like a crop boxy fit, and I just like the minimalist kind of aesthetic to this one. It's like not too in your face, but it's like there, you're like, ooh, Saint Laurent, ooh. It's definitely like a flex. But I will say with these t-shirts, guys, they're like, the material feels nice, but I do commonly see people get holes. If you wear these like religiously, like every day, they're 100% going to get worn out just as any t-shirt. Sometimes I've seen people actually, get little holes in it, like even this little print. This one's not so bad, but things like this, if you wash it all the time, I've seen them fade quite a lot, and it's kind of in a way that's not like vintage vibes cool. It's like just ruined. So I don't necessarily think these are worth $400 like they're priced. I think if you're going to get into designer t-shirts, try and get them on sale, because they're definitely just a perceived value. They don't cost anywhere near $400 to make, I'm telling you. Even though like I think these are organic cotton and they're made in Italy, so yeah, that does add to the cost, but you can definitely get other brands that do the same thing if you just want that, you know, organic cotton or something. So anyway, these are some Saint Laurent t-shirts I purchased. And I also want to say, like, t-shirts in general, it's not necessarily just designer t-shirts that are expensive. It could also be like band t-shirts. Like I've also seen, because I'm always on like looking on Etsy and eBay, a lot of like vintage band t-shirts also sell for like a lot, like compared to like what I guess the material is. Years ago I purchased a Britney Spears t-shirt on eBay. I think this cost me like $100, and sometimes I see these listed for like $200, and I only imagine the value of like certain band t-shirts will go up if they're genuine, that is. And this is from the 2001 tour, so obviously Britney Spears is like an icon, especially, you know, she's just the pop princess of the world. So things like these original merch t-shirts, sometimes if you hold on to stuff like this, it could actually be worth a lot in the future. So yeah, things like, think about certain bands. I mean, I have a few band t-shirts. This is, I don't know, this is probably not worth anything, but this, when I went to Coldplay in 2009, I bought this band t-shirt. And I mean, Coldplay is a massive band as well, but you know, things like, I'm guessing like AC/DC, like, you know, the typical rock and roll band t-shirts, like if you find original ones, they can be worth quite a lot because collectors want to buy those. So that's another kind of t-shirt genre you could get into. Similarly with like, you know, Supreme, like if you find like original ones, they're also worth thousands sometimes, which is crazy. But I also feel like vintage designer tees go down in the same category. So if you're into vintage band tees, I find like a lot of designers are inspired by those, and I feel like especially with like Balenciaga and that sort of thing, they kind of, some of their t-shirts look quite like vintage, like 2000s 90s vibe, and I think that's like where they're inspired by. So it's kind of cool to get like the original like kind of 90s or band t-shirts kind of thing. I also have a few Dior t-shirts. Dior t-shirt is like, I'm pretty sure like $1,000. But when I was in Japan years ago, the trend for Dior t-shirts were not as high, I'd say, and I managed to get a few like 2000s ones for around, I think, under $100. And so this one I like hardly wear because it's quite early 2000s, but you could look at vintage designer t-shirts, but I would be careful because there are so many fake t-shirts out there as well. There are fake band t-shirts, there are fake designer t-shirts, there are fake Supreme t-shirts. They're not hard to replicate because they're so basic. So I know there are some kind of vintage bootleg t-shirts which are actually trending at the moment because they're like ironically fake, and I know people collect those as well. So that's kind of like an interesting like market, but I kind of like the idea of maybe if you get a few designer t-shirts, you know, modern day ones, it'd be kind of interesting to see if in 20 years they're still worth that much as you paid for them, because they might be vintage. Like, you know, something like, if Saint Laurent is still, you know, a massive brand in 20 years, something like this could be maybe cool, like a collector's item, because people collect t-shirts weirdly. And I think it's because t-shirts are just so easy to wear and it's just something everyone wears. This is another Dior one I got in Japan, and it's from early 2000s. Yeah, I literally paid under $100 for this. This is one I bought for my friend. It was, you know, a sale t-shirt, but this is Gucci. This one I love because you can't really tell it's Gucci unless you look up close, and it just has a lot of details on it. This one also looks kind of like, it's giving me vintage vibes. It's kind of like dyed, like kind of like a tie-dye effect all over it. But I like that one. This one's kind of more, it's not really like a slogan t-shirt. This is just more of an interesting t-shirt. And I also bought a Burberry one. And this is the most recent one I've bought because I find that a lot of the, you know, t-shirts that are just placement print, they can just chip off and fade, but I really liked this Burberry one because it's actually like material and it's embroidered, so this is not gonna like fade. Oh my god, this is so dirty. This is not gonna fade over time, so I like that. I definitely need to wash this though. I don't know what has happened to it. Anyway, that's a Burberry one. But yeah, it's just interesting to see what people will pay for t-shirts, even though they're quite basic. It's 100% the perceived value. And do I recommend collecting like designer t-shirts or anything like that? I mean, it's up to you. I don't think they're worth it, but and if you buy, say, a Gucci t-shirt fresh from the boutique and you want to sell it the next day, you'll 100% lose money on it. You just have to, it's kind of like a collecting thing, I guess. Like, you kind of have to know what is rare or what people are willing to pay for certain things. So I don't think they're really worth it. It's just kind of like something cool to collect if you're into it. And like what I'm wearing today is actually not designer at all. This is inspired by Dior. But I liked how it was like the little embroidery and the beads and stuff. So, I mean, I'm also happy to just wear a plain t-shirt. I think sometimes that's even better than wearing a t-shirt with a giant print on it. It's just a lot easier to style. So I think more importantly, it's important to get, you know, nice quality materials. If you just want a t-shirt to wear like every day, I wouldn't necessarily recommend a designer t-shirt because, like, as I said, the prints just, they will wear as per usual. I would just invest in good quality materials over the actual branding. But if you're more into collecting like placement print t-shirts or band t-shirt, then that's a whole nother story. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. And also, so sorry, my hair looks like a mess. I'm actually going to the hairdresser today for the first time in like, maybe like 5 months, and I might be doing my bleach again, or I don't know whether I should dye my whole hair brown, but my next video in my hair probably will look a lot different. So I haven't washed my hair in like 1.5 weeks, so that's pretty bad, but it needs to be a bit dirty before I bleach it. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!